Hello everybody, welcome to our, not really predictions for E3, but kind of more of our hopes, dreams, desires that we want to see introduced at E3 video. So to start things off, I am Nick.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Travis.
And this is a video where we're just kind of, not really just spitball ideas out there, but with E3 coming up and just being right around the corner, like you kind of have a couple things happening that is not technically traditional with this E3, like Sony's not even going to be there, really. I mean, Nintendo's going to still go for, like, their Nintendo Direct style. But I think it was nice to see if we could just have kind of a discussion about what we want to see out of E3. It rhymed, and wow, I'm a freaking genius for that. But I'm just going to start this one off just as throwing something out there as a never going to happen, but what I want to see. I really want to see a new Diddy Kong racing game. There's no way in hell that it's happening, and if it happens, I'm going to be screaming my ass off. But if Microsoft and Nintendo could actually collaborate for that, like, because obviously Rare is owned by Microsoft now, and Rare hasn't really been doing much, and we all know about Rare's golden days. I would just like to see something out of them, whether it's a new Conker game, whether it's a new, even like a platformer that's banjo-kazooie, that's not banjo-kazooie nuts and bolts, that's focused around building a car and just having an empty world. I would like to see Rare do something, and I would preferably like to see another Diddy Kong racing game, because that's a game that hasn't been touched and is just such an easy game that they could, well, not an easy game I would say, but such a different spin on a lot of these games coming out that I think that could give it a little bit more, enough of a distance where it won't be roped in with maybe another, I don't know, another kart racing game that came out like Sonic and Crash. So what do you guys think about my stupid hope about wanting another Diddy Kong racing game?
I mean, I would actually be really excited to hear about a new Diddy Kong racing, because, like, I've played Mario Kart to death. I want something a little different. I'm hoping Crash Team Racing will replace that kind of fun mechanic with, you know, a new racing game I can play with my friends. But Diddy Kong Racing does have a whole bunch of other things that had to it, and I'm sure I would have enjoyed it much more if the first time I played it wasn't against you, who knows every single shortcut and every little thing about the game.
Oh, I was exploring speedrun mechanics, man.
As fun as it is getting second place, but being like 2 minutes behind the person who already finished, it's just not that exciting.
Yeah. Diddy Kong Racing not having rubber banding on their AI, I like that, but it also can mean that you're going to lap the computers if you're good enough.
Yeah. So, like, I actually would be really excited because it did have a lot of features in it that I enjoyed. I just didn't have it as, like, any of my games, and I didn't want to invest all of my time just getting good at that one game versus... Because I still sucked at Mario Kart at that time, too.
That's true. You got way better at Mario Kart, though.
Yeah, because I bought it.
Because he bought it. I will say
if I own a game, I'll play it a lot, and then I'll get good.
Yeah, I think that the original Diddy Kong Racing lacked a lot of polish. I know that we did get some flack for it in the bracket, but one of the things that I think Diddy Kong Racing definitely lacked in, when compared to a game like Mario Kart is that just you can pick up a controller and just start having fun. Like, it requires a little bit more of an understanding to know how the game works, and maybe with some polishing, some better balancing on the items, communicating through the player that if you don't hold A when you use your boost, you actually get a better boost. Stuff like that, I think, would be, as long as it was communicated better, would be a great way for at least that kind of racing game to keep going. And it does have enough that would definitely separate itself from the other kart racers. Like, it doesn't need to do too much different, but a sequel for that game, I think, could be really, really well done.
Yeah, I'm trying. In my head, I wonder. It's funny with Rare. We always put the blame on Rare and Microsoft, right? Like with the issue with banjo-kazooie. Because obviously the issue is not Diddy Kong in this situation. The IP issue is banjo-kazooie, and everyone always blames Microsoft. I'm going to throw out there, to me, it's more Nintendo's fault. Microsoft has made it pretty clear they want to see Banjo on Nintendo consoles. They said
they want him for Smash.
Yeah, they said they would love to see him in Smash Bros. If Nintendo reached out and said, hey, we want to kind of remake Diddy Kong Racing, can we use the Banjo IP? I feel like Microsoft would love that idea. I feel like Nintendo deserted Banjo as much as people say Microsoft did. And certainly Microsoft is not without fault. They definitely ran that IP into the ground. But so did Nintendo. Nintendo hasn't done a whole lot for Banjo either. And so, I kind of just want to throw that out there. Like, if Nintendo wanted this to happen, I think it would happen. I think the issue is Nintendo is over Banjo just as much as Microsoft is, which is sad because so many people want to see that come back, but I don't know. Nintendo doesn't seem like they really want it, Or else Banjo should have been one of the first options for the Smash Bros. Because he's one of the most popular IPs on a Nintendo console, and so he should have been a no-brainer for Smash Bros. So the fact that he's not tells me Nintendo's not that excited about it, which, is unfortunate. And if they're not excited about Banjo, they're not going to pursue Diddy Kong Racing Remastered, So...
Yeah. And don't even get me started on the fact that the DS game was one. No. I like Diddy Kong Racing DS. It's not. No. I'm sorry.
Right.
The original is still better by so many metrics. No, you can't just You can't just have some stupid tapping minigame the second time you're going through instead of like. I don't want to. No. Not talking about Diddy Kong Racing DS. Yeah. It's still okay.
Yeah.
I want an original remastered, not
right. Something
DS.
That's more authentic, for sure.
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
and so, yeah, hopefully it could happen, but you never know. So, anyway, I guess I'll do mine now. I'm going to kind of group two together because I guess these are kind of things. One of them is something that I think will happen. One of them is something that I don't think will happen, but I'm going to mention it anyway. The first one is I want some sort of DLC announcement from Square Enix for Kingdom Hearts 3. I'm not going to jump into this too far because I know a lot of people haven't played it. The ending of Kingdom Hearts 3 is... really pissed me off. I'm just gonna say that.
Like you wait, your mother.
Yeah, you wait 12 long years for this game to come out, and then they basically say, "Haha, f you. Wait till our next game now." Like it felt like no, give it closure. Like you spent so long for a game, not for like a to be continued-esque ending. Like give a real ending. And so I'm hoping they're not gonna say this ending is gonna be resolved in Kingdom Hearts 4, right? Like I'm hoping they say, hey. We're going to put out some DLC to, like, finish the game off. Kind of like what Broken Steel was for Fallout, where it's like, hey, we're going to add on to the end of the game. I'm hoping they have some sort of DLC to say, hey, Sora's going to go on a mission to, fill in the issue. Like I said, I'm not going to say what it is because I know Nick doesn't know and he doesn't want to spoil it for him when he plays it. But, for those of you that do know, like, it was an open ending. The final issue was never really completely resolved, which is unfortunate. You wait 12 years to see how it ends, and then they don't end it. So I'm hoping they put out some DLC. Whether it's, I don't care about paying for it as long as it's substantial DLC. But ideally, they would just have some free bonus DLC that's like, hey, you bought Kingdom Hearts 3. This is how we want it to end. Sort of like an epilogue for the game. I think would be really cool. So that's one of the things that I would like to see. The second thing I want to see is I want to see some sort of Final Fantasy announcement that isn't Final Fantasy VII Remake. Only because like we've heard so much about the 7 Remake, and I think Square Enix doesn't focus on a lot of IPs at once, which is fine, right? They put a lot of work into 1 or 2 games at a time. But I would like to hear something either about Final Fantasy 16, or I'd like to hear something about Final Fantasy X-3. Final Fantasy X-3 is a pipe dream at this point. I don't think it's ever going to happen, but I will forever be hoping and praying that it does. That is like the game release that if it happens, I would be the happiest person alive. I think that's the one game I don't think will ever happen that like I dream is going to anyway. So I'd love to hear about that. I don't think it's necessarily going to happen, but I'd like it. More realistically, I'd like to hear something maybe about Final Fantasy 16. Like I said, this is on my side of things that I don't think is probably going to happen much.
I started mine with my least likely, so I agree with you there.
Yeah, like, it's just, Final Fantasy VII is awesome, but it's an episodic remake that's probably going to be PS5, and so it's not like I'm super thrilled for this. It's a remake of a game that I've beaten a couple times, and I beat it recently not too long ago, so, it's an awesome remake, but I like seeing new things, and so... Yeah. I would like to hear something. Again, I don't expect it. Final Fantasy 16 is inevitably going to happen someday. E3 2020 seems a bit more likely for it. But I would like some news. Final Fantasy 7 is going to be there. There's going to be some new trailer for it, obviously. But overall, I guess I'll say I just don't want Square Enix to drop the ball again. Square Enix was awful last year. They put out trailers that they had already released. Nothing really new came out. I want to see Square Enix do something new and exciting. I
agree with you too because of the fact that Final Fantasy 15 I'm pretty sure had DLC cut from what they kind of promised, and Square Enix not living up to that, especially when it comes down to their flagship series, really, of Final Fantasy, kind of disappoints me. Yeah, you had Dragon Quest, yeah, you had Kingdom Hearts, which are also good in relation, but the main game that I think people know you for, if anything, was Final Fantasy. And cutting content like that, or content that you kind of already said was going to happen, that's not really a good look. And that's stuff that people were already looking forward to. It's one thing to say, hey, this is the finish, and then you say, hey, we're going to add on some stuff afterwards. It's different when you kind of put it on the plate and take it away afterwards, or take away most of it. It's not the best look for them.
Right. No, yeah, like Final Fantasy definitely needs some tweaking. And again, I'll say like Kingdom Hearts 3 wasn't a bad ending. It was a bad ending for how they operate. Like, you shouldn't have a cliffhanger if it takes you 12 years to put out the sequel. You know what I mean? Like, you should have closure then, because in the span of 12 years, you're going to lose a lot of fans. Excuse me.
You're dying.
Oh, God.
See, look, he's dying because he's already upset.
Square Enix, stop
true.
Mike from dying.
Yeah, please, put it out. Well, so Kingdom Hearts 4 either
10-3.
has to come out within the next 5 years, right?
Yeah.
To make that okay, but like, just don't do cliffhangers if you don't make games that frequently, or put DLC to seal the deal. You know, that's all I ask.
I would agree.
So, yeah.
But Square Enix does have that new game, Oninaki.
Tokyo RPG Factory. It's going to be the next game that they do after.
It looks pretty good.
Combat.
I definitely want to hear more about that game, because when I saw it in the Direct, I was super interested in it, and then it really hasn't had anything come out since. I think
Honestly,
they
that
had
would be
one
a cool
other
thing to
video
see at
about
E3.
it.
Yeah,
Huh?
It would.
Oninaki? It'd be a cool thing
It
to
should
see
be at E3, because like, it's going out on every single console, so there's no reason for it not to be advertised, since it's coming out the next month.
And I mean,
in July.
Tokyo RPG Factory's products, they never try to really push the graphical fidelity that is like on the game's console. Like, it's not going for like Spider-Man graphics where you have to like wait long times for a possible screen to render or something like that. They're just trying to bring back those older charms. Like, I would argue, even though Octopath Traveler is graphically stunning, it's not stunning because of the hyper realism that the graphics are.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, it's freaking pixels.
Yeah,
but it's gorgeous.
It's stunning because of the fact that they're just doing more with that kind of classic style that we already like, which is, I think, a really good approach to be taken, and one that not many people are.
It's super cool, yeah.
Travis, do you got some big hope?
Okay, so my hope that will probably be contradictory to a lot is I do not want to see just a shit ton of Super Mario Maker from Nintendo.
Oh, God,
last year's E3, it was freaking Smash Bros, Smash Bros, Smash Bros, Smash Bros. Guys, guess what? Smash Bros. And I'm like, I'm already buying it. I don't care. Show me the other thing. I want to see Super Mario Party, because I'm debating that one. Show me that. And like, I'm already sold on Super Mario Maker, so I want them to have just one quick thing, show us whatever that new map, whatever is.
New style.
Yeah, the new style. And like, if they have any other new content, just show that really quick in like 1 or 2 treehouse things, or the play, whatever they call it. I'm completely blanking on everything right now. And then move on, because there's so many other games I want to see. Like, I want to see Astral Chains. That looks really interesting. That's coming out in August, because that's like a new IP too. So it'd be super cool to, you know, have some content on that. And then, like, Crash Team Racing I want to see a little bit, and compare it to other consoles that's coming out on. Yeah. Because I might get it on PS4 if it's better on it, or like a lot better on it. But if it's just, I fear that it's just going to be Mario Maker throughout the whole thing, and it terrifies me.
And beating a dead horse is not even necessary in that case. Like, again, Travis already said it, and I'm going to reiterate too. We're already buying the game. You've already sold us. Move on and sell us something differently in this point. Like, the point of E3 is to show off all of the stuff you've been working on, not fixate on one. Like, Smash Bros. Ultimate, like, I'm pretty sure there's like a joke about the one, like, people are talking about, hey, I want to see Animal Crossing, hey, I want to see this, and then there's just some bird in the corner screaming, Smash! Because that's all Nintendo did. I am a huge fan of Smash Bros. I play Ultimate competitively. I play it pretty constantly throughout the week. it's not necessary to show it that often. That's over marketing, I would say, at that point.
Well, because that's Nintendo has a pretty, because they have Pokemon Sword and Shield, which I already know they won't show much because they never show much of Pokemon. It's always its
that's
own
a hope for mine,
independent
by the
thing.
way. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, like it'd be cool to see it, but I'm not expecting it just because Pokemon almost never really appears in E3s.
Yeah, you got a good point. The Pokemon Company kind of has their separate stuff that they do.
Yeah, they have Luigi's Mansion coming out. They have Animal Crossing coming out. Astral Chain's the new IP. That looks cool. So they have a whole bunch of games. So, like, if they just focus on the one that's coming out in just 2 weeks or 3 weeks after E3, I'm just going to be pissed.
I would be too, honestly. It's like, it's not,
And, like, the other thing that I was thinking, too, is, like, a part of that is going to be Smash Bros. Too, because I have a gut feeling...
Oh, yeah, they're going to announce the next DLC character, for sure.
That was one of my hopes.
There's not a chance they don't.
I want to see the next fighter be announced, but I would agree.
And which is fine, and I would love that, because I'm really curious. Like, there's a lot of rumors who it's going to be, probably, but you never really know. And so, but their events are usually only like 30 to 40 minutes. And so, if they're doing 10 minutes on Mario Maker, right, and they do like 5 minutes on the Smash DLC, like, that's already half their presentation, at least, right there, you know? And so, and one of those is a game that's already out. One of them is a game that comes out in a couple weeks from E3. It's like, I want to see... The best thing about E3 is seeing what the future holds. The future is not Mario Maker 2, because that's basically the present, right? It's going to be out only a couple weeks later. I want to know what's going to come out toward the end of 2019, throughout 2020. You know, I want to see what the future holds. And last year they didn't do that. And I'll be honest, like, I love the Nintendo Switch. I have a lot of great games for it, but there hasn't been a lot of incredible stuff that has come out for it lately. I feel like Nintendo's kind of dropping off what they promised a bit. There hasn't been a lot of amazing third-party stuff. I feel like Nintendo's just getting so caught up in, like, everyone loves Smash Bros. Everyone loves Mario Maker. Let's talk about those all the time, but, you know.
They need to fix the online, too.
Right. Well, that's a whole other issue.
Yeah, we're not getting into that on this video.
Yeah. I just feel like they need to showcase more of the stuff that they have coming out. Because like Travis said, Astral Chains, I've never even heard of that game before.
It looks cool. It looks really cool.
Yeah, because they literally dropped it in that direct. I'm like, that looks super interesting.
But they never
mentioned I can't find anything about it ever since then.
Right, and that's like, Nintendo should really be pushing stuff like that. Like, do like 5 minutes on Mario Maker. That's fine. I know it's a big deal. Do a couple minutes on Smash DLC because people like it. But give Astral Chains in a few minutes, right? If it's a game that really has a lot of potential, show it off, you know? Show off your third-party stuff. Because a lot of times what Nintendo does is they, like, will, like, do that thing where they put on music in the background and do it like a montage, you know? Like, no, don't do that. Bring out the developers the way that Microsoft and Sony does. Let them talk about the game. Let them introduce it so we can see what it's like. Don't just give me... What they're going to do is show Astral Chains for 5 seconds with music playing in the background. Like, that's all it's going to most likely get, which is sad. Nintendo needs to kind of change that habit and focus on the variety of games and the future of the company, as opposed to saying, we have Smash Bros. And Mario Maker now. Like, they need more than that.
Skip the couple-minute direct summary that you can have, and let's hear a 5-paragraph essay. That's what I'm hearing right now.
Right.
Just putting it into school terms, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But I agree with you, honestly. Yeah, I want them to recognize the fact that they were beating a dead horse there. Smash Bros. Ultimate did sell extremely well. I hope they don't credit that to how much marketing they did at E3. I think it was already obvious it was going to sell really well. I think it's already obvious about how big
like my friend Robbie
Switch was.
Yeah, because my friend Robbie, he always buys the new Nintendo system once the Smash Bros. Game comes out.
And then I just kick Robbie's butt in Smash Bros. Because he's garbage. Just kidding. He's all right. But just shit talking for fun.
He plays so campy and annoying.
Yeah, it's not too fun to fight.
No.
But anyway, do you want me to move on to another one of mine?
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, one of mine was I want to see the next Smash Bros. Deal. Ultimate Fighter, that was pretty obvious. I really hope it's not Minecraft Steve, but I think one of them is going to be Minecraft Steve. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but I think it's going to happen. But one thing I do want to have, this is not like anything too crazy, and this one I think is very likely, is I want to see some kind of news on Fire Emblem Three Houses. And the one thing that I think is unlikely is I want to see it priced normally and without any BS extra costing. So Fire Emblem was at least one of my favorite franchises, and I still like it a lot. I still revisit those games. most recently, it's taken very bad routes in terms of adapting a lot of current monetization practices, and I don't want to focus on too much, but I already saw that they're, like, for pre-order already, like, you can get the regular game $60, that's all fine and good, but it also has, you can get a $100 version of it when it comes with, like, a pin set or something like that, and I already don't like the route that that's going. It's like, I just want the authentic Fire Emblem experience. You don't have to do all this extra stuff. You don't even have to give me a marriage mechanic or anything. I just want a Fire Emblem experience without all of that unnecessary BS. So I'm sure we're going to get some news on it, maybe a little bit of gameplay and show how the game works, which I'm fine with. But my biggest hope here is that it doesn't go down the route that Echoes and Fates did in terms of microtransactions. So, like, Echoes had day one DLC that doubled the price of the game that was not substantial whatsoever. Like, the guy even asked, like, when I bought it, he was like, hey, do you want the season pass? I'm like, what? And he goes, yeah, it's an extra $40 for no content at all. I'm like, you're not trying to sell this, are you? Like, I'm not trying to sell this. Like, the guy did not want me to get it, but he had to say it. It was embarrassing. Like, I don't know what Intelligent Systems was thinking, but it's actually embarrassing. And they're starting, like, I would rather them not go down that route. But I don't think it's going to happen as much, but I'm just hoping that you still get a good experience. Like, Echoes was still a full experience for the price of the game. And as long as they do that, I'm fine. But I don't want them to embrace more of, oh, you can get, like, this article of clothing, this sticker set or something like that for extra. I don't like that. It leaves a sour taste in my mouth if it does that. Overall, I think the game's mechanics look solid in terms of, like, weapon durability being back and whatnot. I just don't want it to go down that route. Like, fingers crossed. Please don't do that.
No, yeah, for sure. And I think it being a Switch game might help with that. I think being a 3DS kind of standoff game made it easier for them to kind of pull stunts like that. I think since it's going to be such a mainstream game now, I think, you know, that'll keep them in check a little bit more, hopefully.
I hope so, yeah. They're getting news about it, and so I'm sure they don't want a lot of bad publicity that's coming out. And
right.
A lot of the news that I've heard is positive, and about, like, how the class changing system works, and about like the leveling up and whatnot. All of that sounds good. Like, I'm not overly excited about the game, but I'm like, I think I'll have a good time playing it, because I've had a good time playing every Fire Emblem game so far.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how the school mechanic works, because I know, like, to level or, like, change classes, you do, like, an exam or something, right?
I believe so. Traditionally, traditionally it's either by leveling up or having a certain item, like, if you're in, I think, Sacred Stones, it's like a Knight's Crest if you want to have a Knight promote to a General, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm interested to see, like, how important, like, if you need to actually have, like, a school life, because now that I'm playing Persona 5, I'm like, how can you incorporate school into being fun?
Jeez.
I know. Mike, you've corrupted me forever.
Yeah.
But, like, because I also have no idea, because you, like, pick a class, or, like, one of the 3 houses right at the beginning, right? And you basically teach them. So I'm curious how important that is, like, later on, if, like, one house is OP and then another house just sucks, and then if you're never able to actually, like, ally together.
I'm curious to see how that works too. I don't have an answer on that.
Because, like, I feel like that would, like, drastically change how a thing would act, and I can't imagine they would have 3 separate stories in one game.
Yeah. What I do like about this game is that it's not going the traditional, like, most of the time it's, like, more of a medieval setting, and having a fighting, like, a central conflict of a war or something, which is all fine and good, and I still love that mechanic, and it's able to introduce different themes. I like that. I like the fact that this game isn't going down that route. It is taking more of a shift, and I think that it will be a refreshing change for the series, because while they've already gotten the Fire Emblem series back to where it needs to be, so it still lasts for a longer time. Like, even if this game, I don't want to say it's going to happen, I fingers crossed it doesn't, but even if this game it gets is a 7 out of 10 game, it's still going to be enough because they've already made it back with Awakening. So they have more room to experiment, and I like the fact that they are doing that. Again, I loved Fates, I loved Echoes, I loved Awakening. I will like the change of pace that this game is going through.
For sure.
All right. That's all I got on that.
Yeah, I have a couple. I'm going to do a couple at a time because one of them no one else is going to want to talk about, and then the other one I think people will want to talk about. So I'll start with the one I'm probably the only one that cares about, and then I'll jump into the one that will be more of a conversation. From Capcom in 2015, though it wasn't officially announced until 2016, Resident Evil 7 was announced. A couple years later, it came out. People are projecting that Resident Evil 8 will probably be late 2020, early 2021. So I'm thinking, since they usually announce it 1 to 2 years in advance, it would be
that they'll announce it now?
Yeah.
That's early.
Ooh.
That's earlier.
It is.
Actually, no. That's still later than Square Enix.
Right. Well, usually they release it like a year or so in advance, you know? I'm just telling people that's something they're working on. So that, like, this E3 would be the announcement. Next E3, they would show a lot of their developments along the process. And then the year after, it's out. A lot of companies do that with, like...
so kind of like what they did with Metroid Prime, only they ended up scrapping everything.
Right. Well, but even
Just
Breath of
kinda
the
get you
Wild... Breath of the Wild did that same thing where they announced that game pretty early too, and you know, with like just flashing Link, and then it wasn't until the next E3 that we like saw a lot more footage, and then after that, that's when the game came out. Like a lot of companies tend to do that, and so I'm thinking there's a chance Resident Evil 8 might be announced. They'll just show like, hey, this is in development, be ready.
Yeah, just like a general zombie type scene, and then
right. It's not going to really say much about what's going on. Maybe like flash a character to be like, oh, Jill's going to be in it or something like that. I don't know. The other thing, and it won't be announced, I know that, but I still would like to maybe see it, and that's they've already remade every game. I want to see them remake Resident Evil 3 and Resident Evil Code Veronica, which is basically like what everyone calls Resident Evil 3 because it's way better. It's most people's favorite game in the franchise besides 2. It's perfectly difficult. I think it's one of the hardest games in the franchise, but it's fair. It has everyone's favorite protagonist, my favorite at least, Claire Redfield. So I would like to see them announce maybe some remake duo for those games. Again, since 2 just came out, I highly doubt they would, but it's also just a remake, so there's always a chance. But I would like to see some Resident Evil news. They're obviously going to be working on something Resident Evil related right now, because that's like, ever since Mega Man went under, Resident Evil is kind of Capcom's bread and butter lately, so, you know, it wouldn't... They're working on something, I know that. I wonder what they're going to announce for this year if they choose to announce something. Yeah. There is a chance they just announced DLC for Resident Evil 2. I don't know. But I would like to see something about Resident Evil 8 or a remake for 3 or Code Veronica.
Hey, they got Street Fighter 5 money, man.
That's true. But that's mostly from competitive tournaments. I don't think it's selling incredibly. I mean, it's selling fine, but... You know, I think its money is from the tournaments that people do. So
yeah,
Resident Evil is like definitely their game selling franchise. You know, which is impressive considering it's a single player game. You know,
it's almost like they're not dead, Mike.
Right?
Who would have guessed?
But what I did want to talk about, and I think there is a good conversation to have here, is, and again, I don't know what's going to happen with this at all, but I want to see Nintendo say something about their Virtual Console. Like, so far, it's just been NES titles, and I don't know at this point if they plan on expanding beyond that, but I would love to see at some point them add, like, SNES games and Nintendo 64 and GameCube games. For so long, it felt like, we're going to get Thousand Year Door and Mario Sunshine and all these great GameCube games on the system. Now it feels like, are we even going to get Super Nintendo games? And they don't necessarily have to be... in like the whole like online subscription thing, right? Like NES games are. You can just make it something we have to purchase separately. Like I would do that. They could sell Mario Sunshine for $20 and I'd buy it, right? Like that's not an issue. It doesn't have to be a part of a subscription. I want them to do something with that because it's just kind of sitting there. We have this perfect portable system that would be perfect for playing these classic games. And there's just been nothing. The system's almost 3 years old now. It is over 3 years old now, isn't it? But there's been no progress. Yeah, like, I would put so much money. I'd rebuy every GameCube game on my shelf on the Nintendo Switch. Like,
dude, I would get so many GameCube games. It's
I would rebuy so many games as well. It'd be crazy.
I'm hoping, and I'm not expecting a GameCube announcement, but yeah, that'd be nice. But I'm hoping at least something Super Nintendo related, right? At least give me something to work with. Don't just tell me, we're going to add volleyball to the NES online subscription now. Like, no, I don't want that.
Whoa, they're going to have volleyball?
Dude, I don't want to spread an insane rumor, right? But it might happen. No, I don't know.
Do you not love Tecmo Bowl, Mike? I'm actually, okay, first of all, let me take that back. I think Tecmo Bowl is actually kind of fun. But
no, the thing is, like, the games they have are fine. Like, I have no issue with the NES games they have. But
Star Tropics is solid.
Yeah, my issue is it's NES. Like, where's the Super Nintendo representation? And then where's everything beyond that? The Wii Virtual Console had like Dreamcast and Neo Geo and like all these other systems, like
Turbo graphics.
Yeah, like that would be perfect on the Switch. Right now, we don't even know if we're going to get past the original console. Like, I don't know. It's frustrating. And so I want to hear them say something about it. Every E3 comes around and I say that, but like, they don't ever say anything. So it makes me sad.
I want to add something here. So I would really hope that if anything, this was the E3 to do so, especially because like obviously they've heard the outcry every single time. If you ever check a Nintendo video and you see what games when they update for the NES games update, it gets dislike bombed immediately. Just always yelling for Super Nintendo games. I'm hoping that they just don't ignore it really, because oh god, I had something else I really wanted to say and it's falling out of my mind. But it just seems like, maybe they're expecting for their classic systems like the SNES Classic or whatnot if you want to play those retro games. But if you're gonna go that route and you're not gonna put it on there, give them another way to play it. I've mentioned this before, and I'm gonna mention this again, which is why one of the points I wanted to make here. I gotta stop talking so fast, jeez. Playing old school games is becoming harder to do. Like, not many people have a CRT laying around. They want a way to at least put in for HDMI graphics or whatnot. And you don't want people to bootleg your games, so the easy solution is to make the games accessible for an HDMI port. Why don't they do that? And again, the Switch is one of the easiest ways to do so. Say what you will about the Wii U. The Virtual Console for the Wii U was stellar in my mind. You could get so many classic games, great prices. I got Super Metroid on that thing for $4. It was fan-freaking-tastic, and I got a decent amount of Virtual Console games on there. Why did you abandon that thinking when you went to the Switch? I mean, now that you're pushing your online service with Super Mario Maker 2 as well, like they're incentivizing you to get the online more and more. There's a really easy way to do it, Nintendo. It's called Super Nintendo. It's called GameCube. Right. It's called different ways than just NES games. They might have been great for the time, but we're still hoping for other ways to play those classic games on a TV that is, I don't know, older than 2000? I mean, newer than 2000? It's like, you gotta give us something. Meet us halfway. You don't want us to bootleg it, but you're not giving us an option to play it. Like, gotta do something.
Right. Well, and it's interesting, like, I wish Nintendo would, I don't know, like, because they've said in the past, like, they don't plan on bringing the Virtual Console back the way that they've done it on other systems, right? Which
they did say that, yeah. Reggie said that.
Yeah, which is fine, but, like, I just feel like, but you have the NES games there. I feel like, then what was the point of this whole NES thing? Like, I just feel like you brought back random classic Nintendo games that are fun, but no one really gives a shit about. Like, people care. The N64 is the most loved Nintendo console. Why not bring back those games? Why not
Banjo-Kazooie?
Yeah, Mario 64 and Banjo-Kazooie and Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, and like all those games, right? Those would have been way more accepted. Why did you choose the like? I guess that's my issue. Is it's boneheaded to me. Like, if you don't want to bring back a Virtual Console, that's fine. But, you know, I just feel like then you did the NES thing, which then gave people hope. Like, I don't know. What was... It's weird. It's bizarre.
Their logic is just misguided or whatever it is. It's not the best. It doesn't make any sense to me either. I don't know if it makes sense for you or... I mean, I know it just makes sense to you. I don't know about Travis. I don't know how much he really been wanting to play these games. But for me, it's just... It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, like... I was excited when I saw Metroid on it, so I played Metroid for a little bit. But I mean, other than that, I probably have like an hour in the NES thing because I just don't care about most of these games.
Yeah, I got into Dr. Mario. I will say that.
Yeah. That does not surprise me.
Yeah. I've played a decent amount of Dr. Mario in that, but yeah. Besides that, I mean, you're trying to boast about a wide variety or a giant library of games with the service. Just solo NES game or just only NES console games is not. I would say it's not enough. It wasn't enough to start with, and it's still not enough now.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Travis, do you have a hope? I have I think two that I'm going to bundle in.
You can do that while I try and think of another thing.
So one thing for me is that even though that it's just got I know it just got announced for a remake or it's getting restarted on development. I would like to see some update. I don't need again, this is just just something for me. I don't need anything. This could even be a tweet during E3 saying that, saying like a screenshot saying Metroid Prime 4 is going along well. I just want to have some kind of thing saying like, all right, they didn't forget about the game. That's what I would like to see.
Just tweet Metroid Prime 4 smiley face.
That's fine. That's perfect. That's perfect for me. I just want them to know that they're not forgetting about the game and that they still know like the hype that's... I don't want to say hype because I don't like the fact that games are overhyped nowadays. The excitement that people are having for it and the excitement that people had for the original Metroid Prime trilogy, and I would love to see it for Switch, a more story-driven game like that, because obviously so many of those games now are just straight-up multiplayer. So I want to see that. I want to see that more, if anything, just because... that one's kind of just... It seems like a no-brainer to me. And even if they don't announce it and they just talk about it in a direct, I'll be okay. I don't really care too much about that one. I really hope that they know that people are really excited about that game. I know.
Yeah. I would like them. I would like them to announce the trilogy to come out on Switch, because
that would be good.
Like, I played the first one, loved it, and then I kept hearing rumors that they would come out with the trilogy on the Switch, so I'm like, I'm not going to bother buying it now if I can just have it on the go on my Switch. And it just keeps going farther and farther, and I'm like, especially now with Metroid Prime 4 being delayed, it just makes sense to put something there. They can be like you said, tweet, happy face, Metroid Prime 4 is going to be great, so here's the other 3 if you weren't able to, because I didn't play 2 or 3. Because I have not played 2 or 3, so it would keep me hyped for that game.
Echoes is Big Mike's favorite. And his brother's, I've learned. I helped him move recently. It's his brother's favorite too. They think that that's the best out of the trilogy.
It is.
I mean, I've heard it's great, and like I've never heard anything bad said about any of the Prime games. It's crazy.
Yeah, in terms of being universally adored, they're one of them. I mean, the Metal Gear games is another one that's like that. I think it's in terms of a series, it's one of the most beloved, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word.
Because like if it plays exactly like the first one, I completely see why. Like, I could not find anything to really complain about the first one.
Oh yeah, it was almost perfection in game design.
Yeah. So if they announce trilogy, I'm instantly pre-ordering it and buying it, because that'd be awesome.
And then this is going to be... I thought of a different one that I forgot about. This is another one that I just hope to have some kind of update on, that it's not even going to be a big one. And I don't think it is, because I don't think Toby Fox really talks about stuff at E3 or makes any E3 announcements. But if there's some mention about Deltarune's Chapter 2... If you guys know about Deltarune Chapter 1, about how it ended, oh my gosh, it makes me so excited for how Chapter 2 is going to start. Again, I don't think that's going to be one, because again, I don't know how Toby Fox does things. He's always very unorthodox when it comes to games and making them and announcing them, so I would like to see something in terms of a Deltarune announcement. I don't think it's going to happen, hopefully in a Nintendo Direct or something, but not holding my breath there. But Deltarune would be another one that I would like to see. And I guess lastly, one of the things that I was really hoping for, and I really hope this happens, but I don't think it is, just after a couple of the things that I saw news-wise, is I want to see Mario Kart for the Switch. I think Mario Kart Switch would be so simple, but they've been focusing so much on the Mario Kart Tour for mobile.
Or the phone.
And, yeah, which is fine, and I think there has a decent amount of things going on to it, maybe not in terms of like how the game is making money, but in terms of making a Mario Kart game for the phone, I think it's a home run for Nintendo mostly. But for me, I would like to see, obviously me and Travis talked about this a ton, I'm sure Mike is along the same lines because of how much we played the game. We want to see a new Mario Kart. We want to see a Mario Kart 9, and I think Mario Kart 9 or Mario Kart 9 or Mario Kart Switch, something like that I feel like is I don't want to say too easy, but I feel like it's
Nintendo, make it
easier.
Make it like a double dash like thing.
That's what I'm saying. It's almost built to be a great edition like that, and I think it's about time for a new Mario game. You've padded out the time with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for a really long time, and while I enjoy streaming that game a lot, it is time for a new one. And that is one of the games that I think should be talked, or something that should be talked about E3. But again, the reason I think that it might be unlikely is because they're focusing a lot on Mario Kart Tour. Yeah. But Mario Kart Switch, please happen. I really want that to happen. I don't even care if it's going to be another year down the road. We have Crash Team Racing and Sonic Team Racing that can be pulling us along until then. I really want to see a different Mario Kart. I still like it. I'll still stream it. I'm enjoying the hell out of streaming it. You have no idea. And racing people is one of the best things about it. I want to see another one because you've rode the Mario Kart 8 train almost all the way to the station and passed it. It is time for a new one.
Yeah, because like we have maybe 1,000-something hours into that game collectively between Mario Kart 8 and 8 Deluxe. Like, it's freaking ridiculous.
Combined, I don't even want to look at my playtime for that.
Yeah, no, it'd be horrible.
Yeah.
But I think it's just so simple. You got the different Joy-Cons. You already have, like, they've already done a lot for the online to make it already solid. I don't think they can do too much to really make the online better, because I think they already have the tournaments, they already have the battle mode and everything on there. Mm-hmm. They've ironed out the details. That's what I want to say. They've ironed out the details that need to happen for it. Just bring back the double dash mechanic or something. I want to see a new Mario Kart. I guess I'll just leave it at that, because I've talked about it to death on my stream. A new Mario Kart, my god, would make my day. Week, month, year, whatever.
Yeah. I guess, and I'll give my final thoughts, so we don't drag on for too long.
Yeah, that's my final one.
So, I guess the one thing I want to feel nostalgic, I always love the feeling of seeing something that I haven't seen in a long time come back. So there's a few franchises. Again, the likelihood of any of these are slim, but I would like to see it because it would give me that cuddly feeling on, I remember doing that before. That's Super Monkey Ball. If there was a new Super Monkey Ball game, I'd love that.
Yes.
A tack game, any tack in the Power Juju, that one's pretty much dead in the water.
Oh, jeez.
That would absolutely fill me with glee and joy. One of the other ones that's most likely, it is sports. I know people aren't usually into that, but the NCAA has been really working on, like giving players more incentive and not necessarily paying them, but it's a whole other conversation. But so people are saying with the changes they're making, the NCAA football and NCAA basketball series might be able to make a comeback. I would adore those because I loved playing the college games. I love, especially now that I've been in college, it'd be cool to be able to play as like one of the teams, like my college. I didn't have that before, and so that would always be fun. I would like to see a new original Spyro or Crash game, not just the trilogies. I'd like to see something new come out with that. I think that's all that I had. Oh, and Harvest Moon. Again, that one's pretty much dead in the water also. After the companies had their issues, and I made a long video. I think I made a video for it. Maybe it never came out. I don't know. But talking about like the issue that happened with Harvest Moon and why it split and why Harvest Moon today is not actually the Harvest Moon series. It's actually something different. And Story of Seasons is actually what Harvest Moon was. Like it had this disastrous divorce. So I can't imagine we're going to get an authentic Harvest Moon ever again, but I would like to. And it's possible, I guess. So really, I guess those are like the games that I would really like to see that would really make me happy. There's other ones like a new F-Zero or something like that would be cool to see too, but I want something that gives that feeling.
Travis, what do you got for us?
Let's see. So when Mike said sports, I was like, you know what? I would really like to see Mario come out with another sport game.
Yeah, that would be
because
cool.
I would personally really love Super Strikers because I never really played it on the Wii, so really
Strikers was pretty good. I liked it.
Yeah. So, because I feel like tennis did pretty well, right? I haven't looked at the sales numbers, but like I like that it keeps updating it every month, so it keeps it somewhat fresh. I always log on at the beginning of the month, get the new character, play with it a little bit, and then if I'm not playing Smash Bros with my friends, I'm playing Mario Tennis still.
Right.
So it'd be cool to have Super Strikers or Sluggers or Golf or anything really.
Yeah, I would like another Mario Golf, that's for sure.
Yeah. I think Golf would be the one I would be like least excited about usually, but if it has a fun story thing with it, I can get into it easily.
I mean, World Tour for 3DS was still good. It wasn't as good as the older ones though.
Yeah, so I think after tennis that they probably are working on something, hopefully.
I would think bringing Strikers back would be a really good one for them to do.
Yeah.
I do too.
So if they announced that, I would be super excited.
Yeah, Strikers and Sluggers are the two that I would like to see the most because I loved that baseball game. So either one of those.
Because you could just troll so well in
Dude,
it.
Sluggers, you just press
stuff.
A, man. That's all you do.
Yeah, you can make it more
really,
advanced.
how different is it than other video games where you just hit other buttons?
Well, yeah, but I barely used any other buttons when it's whatever. My sluggish experience was against my friend Sam that sucked, and we both sucked, so most of it was pressing A. Maybe we just both sucked, and that's why we were only pressing A, but it was still fun.
It's possible. I mean, that's every Mario game. Like, even like Strikers really didn't have a lot of. It's not like FIFA where it's like you have to angle your shot perfectly and then make sure you hit A and B at the right time to get your shot on the right. Like, it's just no, you press A and then you shoot the. Like
Yeah.
They're Mario sports games. None of them get that complicated. Like even golf and tennis, like that have some detail, are nothing compared to like other golf and tennis games out there. So, I think the fun of it is that they are simple and they just have crazy like power up mechanics.
Yeah, and then if you get good, you can make it from half field and it not be bullshit,
Travis,
right, Nick?
I don't want to relive that. I'm out of prediction. I'm hopes, I guess. I'm out of hopes if you guys are.
Yeah, I think I am.
Yeah. Oh wait, one last thing, just as a stupid little thing. You know how Nintendo likes to do and it's out right now after this Direct.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
How sick would it be if they did that for the Smash Bros. DLC?
I would love that. I actually would really like that.
Because hear me out. They said that we were going to have all of them within a year and a half, right?
Yeah.
So we're already going to be approaching June, which is the mid-year. So far, the only thing we have is Joker. So they're either going to start pumping them out really quick, or they're just going to be like, you know what, F it. Let's just announce it, and then just be like, yeah, and you can play them. It's already uploading now.
That would be awesome.
We'll lose our goddamn minds.
I would love that, actually.
Right?
Good idea, Travis. You should work for Nintendo and fix their online.
Yeah, make sure that there's no server crashes this time when the DLC comes.
My internet at home sucks. I don't think
nightmare.
I'm the one who solved the internet problems.
If there's no internet crashes on the next DLC fighter, it's all Travis. So thank you,
You're
Travis.
welcome, dudes. I'm looking out for you.
All right, so that's gonna wrap up our discussion. Then we have obviously, if it's not very, I guess obviously we have a lot of hopes for E3, and again, we know that a lot of them are really shots in the dark. And while we want it to happen, there's a lot of I would say at least half of our hopes are ones that definitely aren't going to happen. But it doesn't really stop our excitement for them. Again, E3 is where we get excited for the future of the games, and we're hoping that it doesn't get too focused on, I guess, what is happening in the immediate months after. So we don't want too much of just Fire Emblem and Mario Maker. We want to hear more about Astral Chain and other games like that. So it's a cool thing, and obviously we're going to be watching E3 very closely. Hopefully we'll have some kind of E3 coverage or something. But whatever that is, I'm hoping you guys enjoyed the video. Please let us know what E3 things that you guys are excited about, what you want to see. Maybe if you think that some of our options are actually valid, give us some reasoning for that to make us even more excited. But yeah, that's going to do it for me. Signing off, this is Nick.
Mike.
And my name, Travis.
Bye.
The other guy.
The other guy who's here and sometimes has thoughts.
Bye.
Bye.